Y254. Imagine.
Well, a very good evening to you wherever you are. This is Y254 News Discussion. Tonight it is a Monday, the 25th of June 2018, and it's all about matters gospel. My name is Ram Aguko, and we are asking the question whether the gospel industry is heading in the right direction. Do you think that the gospel industry is headed towards the right direction? Talk to me. 22162 is the SMS line. Starting with the word Y News. Is the gospel industry heading towards the right direction? At Y254 channel on Twitter and at Y254 on Facebook. I'm also at Ram Aguko, the hashtag Y254 updates. Remember, it's all about gospel. What is your mind concerning the matter? I am joined in studio by two guests. One is one that you know of, Karl Max Odhiambo, who is a governance expert. And next to me is Pastor Anthony Kasili, who is the pastor of Winning Life Church that is located at Ongata Rongai. Thank you for tuning in. Let's head on towards this discussion now. Welcome to Y254, Pastor. Karl Max, tunakuanga na hapa kila siku.
Thank you so much.
I like how you're sitting. You're at home. Now, Pastor,
yes, sir.
Is the gospel industry heading towards the right direction, considering the fact that there have been a lot of debates in whether gospel is turning into secular?
Okay. That's a very good question, and I really want to be very careful even as I'm answering that, because we are dealing with generations that currently are in the church, because we are looking at the generation that is now coming up, and we are looking at the generation that is aged, we can say, in other words, fading away. So I would say the church and the gospel is heading in the right direction, but also we have to be very careful, because there are also extremes that can also make the church lose the direction if we are not careful. So basically, as I start, I can say the church is still heading on the right direction.
The church.
Yes.
What about the gospel itself? Our mode of singing?
Yeah, the mode of singing is very debatable, I would say that. And that's the reason why I started by talking about the generation. Because the generation that is here is not the generation that you will talk about the golden bells. You remember there was that time we were doing the golden bells?
Yeah.
And if you look at the generation that is and the young guys that are there, and I'm saying that because I've been a youth pastor for around 10 years.
Wow.
Around 10 years. And I can tell you that what we used to do then, when Kapuka was starting and Rafton was starting and Masik and all that, is not what we are having now. So we also need to understand that things are evolving. And we also need to understand that the generation that is coming is not the generation that used to be there, and they don't know what used to be there.
Right.
Yep.
Karl Max, is the gospel industry heading towards the right direction?
First of all, it's headed a wrong and absolutely wrong direction. There has been what we call the muffled, okay, rumbled and mumbling.
My director, Amos, wherever you are, I would wish you to send me a dictionary down here, because it's not going to be easy. Ruffled what?
There have been a muffled rumblings and also mumblings over the gospel industry, because today it is not what we call the gospel industry that spreads what we call the gospel. Now, what do we mean by the word gospel? Gospel is the good news about God. If you read, Pastor is here will tell you, if you read Romans, chapter 1 verse 16, it will explain implicitly what we mean by the word gospel. First Peter, you go to 3:16, it will give us the entire thing, what we mean by that. But now, if we explain what we call the gospel industry that we have today, it is what we refer to feeding, we call it feel the good. It is feel the good in that, we call it theologically, it's now a runaway, okay? It's now a runaway industry whereby nobody can now differentiate what we call a gospel and a secular. But now, let me just now, my concern majorly as a Christian, I'm going to measure mine about the substance. It's going to be about the substance. Now the substance here we go. Could it be that the gospel artist today, somebody somewhere amongst them lacked what we call knowledge.
I like that analogy.
Lacked the knowledge and the understanding of the word gospel. That has now made us to go astray. Or could it be that what we call trivialization of weighty and eternal matters, in that, look at these examples. There is these songs we call Tigawana. We call it Thitima.
That is Tigawana by Tigabala by Willie Paul and.
Now, let me tell you, Thitima, in real aspect, it means that it's a song that is actually talking about the wrath of God. The wrath of God in what content? The wrath of God when you refer to the Bible in terms of the Sodom and the Gomorrah. This is now basically what they are trying to trivialize in terms of the information.
Okay.
But if you read the Bible, what does the Bible say about the devil? We talk of, in the Bible, the devil is treated as one of the most foil of God. Number two, anytime you speak of the word devil, it is not something that can be. It's something that cannot be filtered as a child play.
Okay, so you would say we are misled in
totally
terms
and
of
absolutely we are misled, because I want anybody to refer to me in terms of what we are doing. Is it about entertainment? Because I can also use the word that. Is it that we have now turned into entertainment more
than ministry,
edifying the message?
Pastor?
Yes, sir.
This debate as to getting a concept from the Bible, getting a story, and then making it sound the way we want it to sound. For example, he mentioned Thitima. He gave, that is the artist, stories from the Bible. And someone would say that because the stories are depicted from the Bible, the message comes from the Bible, then the story is gospel. Then it makes me wonder, does mentioning a story from the Bible qualify a song to become gospel?
Would you mind? It is the antithesis of what the Bible talks about. It is the opposite of what the Bible talks about. You know, when you talk of a wrath of a given area, you cannot use that to further the agenda of the gospel, if it is not actually also excommunicating it. Or actually, you come out to deny that, or maybe you actually rubbish it out. But the most worrying trend is that we've turned out the gospel industry more of entertainment. And the person will agree with me, more of entertainment.
Will you agree?
Than actually inspiring, or maybe what you call to edify. To edify means that you bring people closer to God in terms of the gospel.
Will you agree?
Do you know that if you get to the Christianity version in terms of what the Bible means, why do we actually sing? We sing, one, to worship God. Two, we sing so that we are building the saints. I would love to hear where all these songs are worshiping God, or maybe they are building the saints.
Yeah, I promise that I will not be tough on the English for your dictionary. Like my brother, I'm really learning a lot of
languages.
I'm telling you, I'm just putting them down. I think I'm going to get a dictionary after this.
I said one day Karl Marx will bring a dictionary here. Utatuambia hizi maneno natoa wapi?
But I want to say this. I understand and I really agree with my brother in terms of entertainment, which has been a worry and also is still a worry in the church. and it's something that also I've been talking about. I've been sharing with the singers. As a matter of fact, my wife is a singer. Is a gospel singer, and she has done her songs. And every time she does the songs, I'm very careful what she's doing, because I agree with my brother. It has to edify.
So the gospel industry has turned into entertainment industry.
I want to say it has not turned into, because there are still those who are singing.
Who are they? We had the Groove Awards yesterday, and we gave honor to the late Angela Chibalonza. If someone would compare the songs izile za kale wakati Angela Chibalonza alikuwa naimba, and we had people like Mary Atieno and all those people who used to sing there. The songs sung at that time are different from the gospel that we hear right now, and I think it is a fact.
Yes, it is a fact, and that's what I want. I started by talking about a generation, because we also need to understand there is a generation that we are dealing with at this particular time. A generation that you like it or not, they have their own way of songs, their own taste, their own way. I remember when, I can give example, when Rafton, they started singing the songs, which at the moment we can probably debate and say they are better songs than what are being sung at the moment.
Yeah.
I remember that time, there was a debate, and people were like, these Kapuka songs, are they gospel?
When songs like System ya Kapungala started, exactly, I know you remember.
And at that time, there was a generation, I remember it was around late 90s, early 2000. And people were like, is this gospel? Is this taking the church out of, the context? But I want to say this, and I want to be very, very careful. Extreme is bad. I agree also with my brother. There are some songs that I still don't agree with.
What is the definition of extreme? What is extreme and what is not extreme?
I would say there is edification. We have to judge and we have to look at the context of the song. There is what is edifying. Number two, there is what comes scriptural. Because you can get a song, take a story, yes, and understand in like the Tima, which my brother is talking about, is a story. It's a story. I've heard that song several times.
And does it qualify as gospel?
Let me. I want to be very, very also careful. And also I've heard about this song, Mazgwembe. Mazgwembe and all that. And I try to look at the context. There is a message they are trying to put in this generation. And probably they're trying to put it in their own way, in a generation which can understand that language.
I would like to...
let me do some elucidations in terms of we call the scripts. The songwriters of the gospel today is all about the entertainment, not basically edifying or maybe passing a message. Now get this. Do you know